Okay. So you know what's funny? I didn't prepare a single thing to talk about to start.
None of these pens work.
What do you mean nothing?
Nothing. The only thing I can tell you is it's illegal. Are you ready for this? It's illegal to eat hot dogs in North Korea now.
Because?
So Kim Jong-un has decided that
if that's the worst thing that's illegal in North Korea,
there's a lot of things.
Okay. It's too American, so no hot dogs?
It's too American. Yeah.
Okay. They just executed some kid for listening to a South Korean K-pop group, so I think that's low on the totem pole. I'm sorry, they caught him with a K-pop CD.
So
it's like they
you heard about the Iranian rapper kid, right?
Yeah, blasphemy against the Prophet Muhammad, and now he's been sentenced to death.
He's sentenced to death.
Yeah.
He's sentenced to death.
That's what Ted wants.
No, not that.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
No, you know what they need
literally
to do?
He said that.
Going back to the 1800s.
No, not
he
for that.
said that.
Not for that poor kid. What I'm saying, what they need to do is they need to bring back the Enola Gay. They need
opera singers, yes.
They need to bring back the Enola Gay and drop about 2 tons of you-know-what right in the heart of Tehran. I feel bad for those people, but you got to get rid of those crazy, lunatic...
Ted, no. No.
What do they call
those people?
Religious
listen,
theocracy over there?
All of the people that are ultra-religious and ultra-zealots...
No, the population's normal.
It's just a small percentage of people.
But they're tormenting the population who, obviously should overthrow them immediately. I don't know why they can't,
I think it's up to them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Yeah, but no, they're westernized.
It's up to them to do something
the good people of Iran. It's just these lunatics who live in the Stone Age.
Yeah, we have a very good friend who's Iranian. You know that.
Yeah, I know that, but he's a normal person. He's not a psycho.
See, you're saying it like that, and it bothers me. You're talking about a very few amount of people.
I know.
Should we give Ted a shovel?
I know that, but unfortunately, they're affecting a huge percentage. I mean, I don't care about them. I care about the people they're affecting. They're affecting a huge percentage of good people because of their nutty, crazy.
Can we get back to North Korea?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, because that's better. Okay.
If you eat a hot dog, you are going to prison. If you make a hot dog, you're going to prison. Okay.
What if you call it tube steak?
Now,
what if you show your hot dog?
Now, this is weird. You ready for this?
What about kielbasa?
And I only remember this because I'm wearing the shirt. They also have there's a South Korean delicacy. They call it what's it called? It's called army-based stew. Okay, it is. Are you ready for this? Sausage, beans, kimchi, and Spam. And then there's just constant farting. And then you're just on the toilet for like 6 hours. But that is actually illegal also because it's South Korean. Is that weird?
No. It's North Korea. There's nothing weird. Nothing you're going to say is going to surprise me about that country.
Nothing?
No.
Yeah.
So if they can't have hot dogs, just don't allow them into the country. I mean, were there people making them or what?
I have no idea. I don't know. Do people make... I mean, I can't imagine you're making a hot dog. Because where would you come up with that gross stuff from an animal? I mean, usually you just throw that gross stuff away.
Yeah, is Mike North there with a stand or something? That's where he's been.
There's a Gene and Jude's right in the heart of Pyong.
Because that's the bottom of the barrel meat, the grease at the bottom. They just put it all together, hot dog and bologna.
And yet it tastes so good when whatever they get
Absolutely.
done with it. Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That is so weird, man.
That guy in Independence Park, his name was Teddy. We used to call him Sweaty Teddy and his dirty pig balls.
What?
Oh, I'm going to get a hot dog from Sweaty Teddy.
So one of the
he was sweaty.
So one of the best
middle of summer.
So they did a thing. I don't know what magazine it was, but like I think it was within the last couple of years. They talked about like the best hot dogs from every state, like where to get them from. So there's a place in Chicago. I've actually been there. It's a trailer on like 71st and Western. I think it's called like Johnny something, but it's just the guy in a trailer. There's no fries. It's just chips. And he puts like fresh slices of cucumber, but like the people who serve it to you, they got like the dirty fingernails. But boy, that hot dog.
Well, I was just in Nashville this last weekend, and right outside our place, there was Ash. I'll get a shout out to Ash. The best effing hot dogs I've ever had. So every night me and my son got back at whatever, 12, 2 in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
He was out there. Even when it was freezing, he went in his car and they saw people and came back out.
I mean, the hot dog. I mean, once now I'm getting hungry because
Yeah. But then on Saturday, another guy came right next to him. I felt bad for him. And he's just like, hey, these guys are coming. You got to come to me. I'm like, absolutely.
Wait, dueling hot dog dudes?
Right next door, yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Put them right next.
So I don't know. I would say at 2 a.m. is probably when a hot dog tastes its best.
So does pizza. So does White Castle. So does Waffle House. So does IHOP.
I honestly believe White Castle and Waffle House only taste good at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's what we're talking about.
I see people because there's a White Castle literally, a stone's throw, a nice long 5-iron from my house.
Yeah.
And I see people driving in there, and I'm thinking, are you buying that just to eat it at 2 a.m.? Are you buying it now? At 2 in the afternoon?
It's open for breakfast.
You brought White Castle over last time you were here.
I did, and unfortunately, I did nibble a couple, and they were pretty good.
Back when we used to play basketball, I used to stop at White Castle like half the time.
Yeah.
Before?
Afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Steve, I'm going to do a Johnny B and tell you to talk into your mic.
All right.
And you can tilt it up a little bit. But yeah, you got to
Good.
Yeah. Oh, maybe not molest it. Yeah,
All right.
just talk into it.
It felt good.
Okay. All right, let's do this. This is the Real Three Idiots podcast. If you enjoy the episode, if you learned something today, and today, you know what? People might actually learn something. This might be one of the few shows where people are like, I'm a better person or more knowledgeable for having listened to this. Please consider following the show, subscribing to your favorite podcast platform, or leaving a 5-star review. This helps the podcast more than I can say and allows us to reach more and more people, and it would mean the world to us. Also, visit the website, voteforted.com, F-O-R-E, or thereal3idiots.com. Check it out. Mark is doing a heck of a job there. It's pretty impressive. I like your pictures.
Oh, the website.
Yeah, the website. All right, let's see, some updates. I think last week or the week before, I said something, and someone said, yes, there is some non-sexual OnlyFans pages. I guess it's fitness and food. Yeah, that's one of the big things for OnlyFans.
That's called Better Homes and Gardens.
Yeah, I guess it's 99%, 99.5% pornography, and then there's about half a percentage of people that are doing like fitness and food stuff.
Or how to arrange your closet for more space.
Teddy, I have no idea. You know what's funny? I'm actually
That's
contacted.
that's kind of hot.
I've actually contacted a couple people. There's a thing I follow on Instagram. This woman, and she does a decluttering thing.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, it's like taking all the lint off the lint trap. It's like, or you see one of those pimple popper videos on YouTube where it's like it's very
I'm not watching
satisfying to just watch that blackhead just go, just get all that pus gets out. It's like, just something about that, right? You know what I'm talking about.
So mine are.
We don't know what you're talking about.
I literally watch Angry Karens. Angry Karens and car wrecks. That's really all my Instagram and TikTok is.
I like the landscaper guy that goes in those yards that are overgrown.
I do like that.
Dude, those are awesome.
Those, you know what though? It's so long to watch, and my attention. Once I'm on social media, my attention span is 10 seconds.
He's out there for like 8 hours, and he speeds up the time.
He does the speed. Yeah,
you
but
watch
still, it's still too slow. Yeah. It's still too slow for me. Let's see. A few months ago, we talked about Illinois being one of the few states that requires driving tests for older drivers. New law.
How old?
So it was 79, starting at 79. And by the way, already several years past, or right at the year when most people are going to die in America.
Now.
It's now 87.
87.
87. It is literally after you're expected to be dead.
So Joe Biden has to take the test for another 5 years, is what you're saying.
Correct.
You know what? We should have you take the test now, because I'll bet you he's a better driver than you are.
Delaware might have different rules, but Illinois, yes.
Yeah. And then according to our Secretary of State for Illinois, the Secretary of State said seniors are among the safest drivers in any category.
Of course they are. It's the people around them that are wrecking.
Yeah.
They're like Mr. Magoo.
No, they're the safest drivers.
Roadhog! And that's what's caused all the accidents.
No, they are
right?
they are safe right up until the time they mistake the gas pedal for the brake.
They're changing
right
lanes
at
at 10 miles an hour.
Yeah. Well, actually, that is unsafe. Actually, if you drive too slow, it actually creates a hazard on the road. So it actually is unsafe.
Oh, yeah. So what I'm going to do now for all the people starting the year, make sure when you're ordering a sandwich at Subway and it's facing the parking lot, keep your head on a swivel.
Dude, don't bring that up again.
What? I'm just saying. Keep your head on a
that
swivel.
old guy by Superdog ran through, killed somebody.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they got a big yellow barrier there now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then a shout out to our buddy Vic Klinko. I think I told you guys, I didn't tell Steve. He's going through some health stuff, and we want to wish him all the best and positive vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so,
God bless, brother.
Yeah. TikTok was gone for a few minutes.
10 minutes.
Was it 10 minutes?
It went dark for a day, like half a day. I
saw
don't
it.
have TikTok. I just saw.
So
You weren't canceled from TikTok, too, were you?
No, we were only canceled from X. I got canceled from X again, but I said
Wait, you got canceled, then you got reconstituted, then you're canceled again?
Yeah, so I use the Real Three Idiots thing, and Mark knows, and X is it's a really dark place. There's one group of people that uses X, and that's it. And so I got angry from all the things that I saw, and I started just posting things like why don't you just be nice? But I didn't say it. I was.
You know you don't have to see all that. You're clicking on like for you instead of just following.
It's called clickbait.
So you don't
I
have
know,
to
just
enrage bait.
every time.
I don't see any of that because I follow like maybe 30 people and it's all sports related for high school basketball and stuff.
Oh, I just hit like the homepage and it's just
So you're just seeing everything and anything. I don't see any of that.
I'm just seeing.
Yeah.
Unless somebody reposts something, which they normally don't.
You're being taken to all the rage bait sites, and you fell for it hook, line, and sinker.
No, I mean, I'm not going to any sites. It's just that everything that pops up is literally exactly the opposite way I think.
But you became
without even a hesitation.
But you became enraged.
I did,
and you posted stuff, and now
I did.
We just lost the social media platform.
No. I got back.
Oh, okay.
I got
Never
back.
mind. Good job. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I don't even want to explain it, but one of the things I heard when TikTok went down for like a minute. There's a woman. She got on Instagram, and she said that she was very anxious, and she didn't know what she was going to do because TikTok changed her life. And then I just thought, you don't really have a life. If TikTok changed it in any way other than how to like put a screw in to a place that has like a giant hole, and they figured out, they show you how to fill everything up. If you've done anything other than that, you really have
I heard
life.
Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank is might want to buy TikTok. Don't quote me on that though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not for sale. They don't want to sell it.
No, it's not anymore because he donated $200 million, and now everything's fine.
As long as you donate $200 million.
He wants to be an investor, I believe.
Yeah, but he gave. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's all staged.
You think?
Yeah.
Wait, you think stuff is fake?
No.
I don't think anything is real anymore. I don't believe a single thing anymore.
Well, you know why the U.S. wants to ban TikTok, right? Maybe some of our listeners don't know why.
Oh, go ahead, Ted. This ought to be good.
Because I think the parent company of TikTok, don't quote me on this, is the Chinese government who is using TikTok as a Trojan horse to gather personal data from obviously unsuspecting American citizens posting silly stuff.
Could you imagine what they would get from Ted? Like if we just gave them Ted's feed, and they'd be like, okay, everyone in America is an alcoholic, and oh my God, I don't even. Yep.
Well, I'd feed them all the wrong information, and so
you would forget in a heartbeat. You don't have to feed them the wrong information. You just feed them Ted information.
So did you hear about the guy? Okay, real quick. So the analogy I'll give you: there was a guy in Vietnam. He got captured. I think he was actually captured by the NVA, the North Vietnamese, during John McCain's stay at the Hanoi Hilton. And I guess they thought this guy was a real imbecile, so they actually let him wander around, without being in a cell, and he was able to memorize the names and some other information about all the POWs there. And then they finally let him go because they just figured he's just too stupid. And he actually gave all that information to the U.S. government, which turned out to be immeasurably helpful.
And then he started TikTok?
And then he started...
Is that where this is going?
No. Then he just went to the bar and got drunk.
I still don't get
PTSD.
it. Like, them following you on TikTok, what are they going to get out of that? I know they're going to have algorithms and figure out stuff, but it doesn't make sense to me. But I
Doritos,
get it.
Steve.
Yeah. Doritos?
Doritos. It all comes down to new flavors of Doritos. I'm absolutely sure of it, like snack foods and stuff. That's all it comes down to. Yeah.
Well, my home address is 1060 West Addison.
Yeah. They just,
Kaiser Sose.
I mean, everybody lives on this. I see, when I'm at the gym, I see the old guys, and I'm talking about like senior citizens walking around the track, and their heads are tipped down. They got their headphones on, and they're staring at their phone as they're walking around. And that's not kids. This is adults. They never
everybody.
They never look up. I saw somebody, actually, they kind of run into somebody else because he was walking faster, and the group in front of him was walking a little slower because he never looked up.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I'm like, don't you just listen to music? What are people listening to? You should be listening to our show. When you're walking, you should do that. That's how we're going to promote it. I want to do that. Yeah. If you're walking, you should listen to us talking. You like that?
I like that one.
Yeah. And it's got to have a rhyme.
Put it on the website.
Mark?
No.
P. Diddy used to
What do you
make
mean, no?
P. Diddy used to make rhymes. Look what happened to him. So be careful. Maybe you shouldn't rhyme words.
So I just have to not have crazy sex parties. So I can do the rhyme part, and then right when I get to that level, Ted, you're right there to go like this. No.
Oh.
Tell those people to go home. Tell those people to go
I
home.
wouldn't do that shit if I were you.
You would, Ted. If I set up a crazy sex party in my house, you'd be the first.
You could have hired me at $40,000.
in.
Look, give man's worth $400 million. You could have hired me at $40,000 a year. I'd just be like P. Diddy or Sean Puffy. I wouldn't do that shit if I were you.
Did you see Dave Chappelle talk about that? His friends were asking him if he ever went to a freak off, and he was like, "No," and they didn't believe him. That's the look they gave him. They gave him that look. They're like, "Yeah, right." He goes,
like bullshit.
He goes, "No, I never was there." He's like, "You mean a bunch of hot celebrities were all having orgies behind my back, and I wasn't invited?" And then he pauses, like,
"Oh, I was there.
I'm ugly." He's like, "I'm ugly. I just found out I'm ugly. That's why I wasn't invited." He's basically saying he wasn't attractive enough to go to these.
He was.
she's probably just a little too. I mean, knowing what's going on there, you're probably better off, right? Because I know if I went to one of those parties, I would get wasted, and then I'd be a victim.
Didn't they just arrest another guy, celebrity? I thought they just arrested another guy for something similar.
Having
just
another
recently.
giant party?
No, yeah, something. Somebody rich got in trouble doing some silly shit. And
I need better friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and Mark are terrible friends.
I know.
Yeah.
And yet you're not in prison, so you're not in jail. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm 7? Almost 58.
yeah. You need some.
Shouldn't I press the button? I should press the button. I should go extreme.
You need some incarceration time. I agree.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, I should be a little bit more extreme. I should. I mean, I could just do the. I didn't even know it was illegal thing. Yeah,
Yeah, that works every
I think
time.
that'd work.
You need better friends, is all it is.
Yeah. All right, Mark. Do you not have a poem? Are you serious?
Yeah.
You do have a poem.
I don't.
Are you going to just make something up? You want a free form?
No.
Come on, free form.
No.
So I got to ask, airing of the grievances, the songs went away. How come? I'm not a poem guy. Your poems are great. I just don't like poetry.
I don't want to do either. I
You don't
ran
wanna
out
do
of
either?
songs. I did every song there was.
I did every song.
That's something I told Matt. I'm like, I'm done.
Yep. When he started
I
doing
get it.
Rodgers and Hammerstein, when Oklahoma, that's when I knew it was
everything
bad.
seemed to be redundant.
Yeah.
Even though like I'm all over the board from like hip hop to country. I mean, I listen to everything.
But there's thousands of songs. We're only
I
on
know.
155 here.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So that's it. We're done with this then.
I think so. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Until Poetry Slam comes back. And then
I'm not feeling it. I don't know. There's something wrong.
I think they canceled this year's Poetry Slam,
Why?
the worldwide one.
Yeah.
Because Mark's poems were better than what they did?
Yeah, I think they were. Once the internet's there, I mean, doesn't it just out poem you?
Can't you just Zoom? Can't you just do a Zoom? I mean, don't you have to like pay, at your own expense? You have to fly to like, a different country for these.
But people want to get together.
I know,
I mean, it's like when we do a golf thing.
but not if it costs me $5,000 to fly across the world. So
I mean, people do all sorts of stuff.
okay.
Yeah, I didn't. You know what I didn't know? They have pinball championships.
Ooh, I'd like that one.
Yeah, they have They've not only each state, which is going through right now. All the states are having their pinball championships. There's a North American one, and then there's going to be a World Pinball Championship.
Have you ever played a pinball machine where all three balls literally go right between the flippers and it doesn't touch anything and you don't literally get a hit at all? That happened to me before. Where, you know how you shake the pin, you can't tilt the pinball. Yeah, you put it in play and it bounces around and then you're just trying to, and then it literally goes perfectly in between the flippers and it's gone. Or that outer edge part where
That was a waste of a quarter, what that was.
Yeah.
waste of a slug.
A slug.
That,
Waste of a usable slug.
You know what that goes with? I was reading through tips, and somebody asked me, is there anything that Ted is actually good at? It was one of them. We didn't use the tip, but one of their PS things, the things at the end was, is there anything Ted's really good at? Is there anything you're really good at?
That's really passive aggressive, and I don't have to answer that question.
No, I'm seriously asking you. Is there anything you're really good at?
I'm good at showing up for every episode here.
There you go. In your face.
Booyah.
You haven't missed an episode?
Did I miss one with?
I think you missed one or two. You were sick once.
I think
I was at one of those, but you called in, so you didn't miss it.
Yeah,
He was down in his
COVID,
basement.
yeah.
Yeah, he was down in his basement.
He was in
had COVID.
somebody's basement.
you know
I don't know if it was his.
No, it was like Dial M for Murder. The phone call's coming in from the house. It was coming from your
That's
basement.
exactly what was happening.
From that room there.
Could you just see it? Honey, what's that noise? That boy Ted's in the basement again. He's doing his show.
You know, Ted is good at something. You're uncanny
Oh, boy.
at number 17, Chevy Chase.
The golf hole.
What?
Hit the ball in the water.
Oh, yeah.
It's uncanny.
It is,
Honest
yeah.
to God.
You're
I've
right,
never
yeah.
seen anything. The water's not in play for 90% of the population.
Oh, that water's very treacherous. It's very.
Well, I've always said Ted's a
Ominous.
10% or so.
I mean, there was a time where you hit it in that water.
But once you get in
Every time.
once you get in your head, no matter how far away it is, that's what he's thinking about. I'm not going to hit it in there, and he's going to hit it in
But
there.
I wasn't
doesn't help.
thinking.
It doesn't help. It
I
doesn't
wasn't
help with this
thinking.
jackass behind you, Matt.
Well, if it's
Oh,
close, I guess Ted don't hit it in the
insane.
water on this one.
No, if we're close in scores,
That's when everybody
you're
loads
like,
up on the bets.
That's it. What difference does it make? Ted's going to hit it in the water here, as he's at the tee. As he's at the tee,
And I hate to say it, they were right.
every time.
they were right.
You know why? Because I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person.
But Ted, didn't you have a 300 bowl?
Yeah, a while back. Not recently.
So I mean, that's
Yeah, made up.
You're
for
good
it.
at something then.
Yeah.
That was with
Yeah.
his left hand, though.
Yeah.
he gave me a ball one time, and he said he bowled a 300 with this thing, and then I brought it, and I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
But you must use it right-handed because these guys look at that's not a left-handed ball.
I got like 10 in my basement, man. So if you want something, let me know. All right.
This is not going to devolve into Ted's
We'll
bowling ball talk.
deal with that separately.
All right.
Yeah. I can't deal with it. Every once in a while, I'll ask him. I'm like, "Hey, you were in a tournament?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I just grabbed a house ball and used it." I'm like, "You were in a tournament for money?" He goes, "Yeah." Use the house ball.
So he has over a dozen balls at his house.
So the right-handed house ball fits me better than my left-handed custom drill stuff.
And where's it at now?
I got it at my house. I've been taking house balls here and there. Yeah.
All right. Listen, we got to get to this. Yeah, it's got
the 15. It's got the 15 on it. The numbers on it.
Yeah. The only thing he doesn't have at his house is a bowling alley. He's got everything else there.
I did take a pair of shoes one time from Waveland.
Was that you?
Did you have to leave shoes
on accident, or you just?
No, I did it on purpose. Yeah, I wanted.
You love the shoes?
Yeah.
So you just brought old junky shoes?
Were they green and red?
No, they were the blue and red ones.
Okay.
Waveland had blue and red ones. I wore them too.
You should wear them to like a formal event, like a wedding or something. That'd be pretty cool.
You know what? That'd be kind of cool if the whole wedding party did that.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting. All right, let's get to this. No, nothing from Mark. So I just have a sponsor, and then we'll get to Teddy's tip. Ted's Tips is brought to you by Al's Flammable Pajamas. Sure, there are safer pajamas. There are more comfortable pajamas, and there are pajamas that don't have that funky smell that some people have called off-putting. But we guarantee there aren't less expensive pajamas anywhere on the planet. Al's Flammable Pajamas, what are the odds?
I like it.
You know what? You just go for it. Be realistic, right? I mean, a lot of people buy stuff. I mean, there's a reason I go to Costco, right? Because everything's $10. What? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You don't know who the guest is. You have no idea who the guest is.
I was looking at that Mike Jack.
Mike Jack,
trying to figure out who that is.
Next week.
Oh, next week. Yeah, that's our next week guy.
Yeah.
That guy, he set
Ted's
the
planning
world record.
really?
He set the world record for eating 100 Reaper peppers.
Oh, is that the guy?
Yeah.
That's
so
insane.
He's insane.
Yeah.
He's insane.
And obviously he has a cast iron stomach.
Let's get through this because we have a guest this week.
Of course.
Let's get ready. You know what's going on. Okay. Here, Ted, are you ready for your tip?
Yeah. Sort of.
Okay. All right. It's not very convincing. Ted, you have to help us. We visit my mother a couple times a year. She lives in Las Vegas, and we are in Oregon. Shout out to the Ducks. The problem is she is swearing all the time. It has gotten completely out of control. We mentioned it to her so many times. Our kids are 8, 6, and 3, and when we come home, they start dropping F-bombs and worse. My son, he was 6 at school, used a bunch of words that he heard my mother say to one of the kids after that kid took the toy that he was playing with. I want the kids to see their grandma, but this is too much. What should we do? Lola and Alex in Salem, Oregon. And we add one more thing. You guys should do a segment on beer. Maybe recommend a good beer to try. We are always looking for something new.
Oh, we did too.
Did a couple of those.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just drop some.
Shout out the episodes.
Yeah, we'll drop some beer,
like the
beer
ones you're
tips.
drinking
All
right now.
Teddy, help
I was
the
on both of those.
swearing grandmother.
Yeah, you were.
Okay, look, guys. Number one, I grew up in a household with the world heavyweight champion of swearing, and I turned out okay. So that's number one. And trust me.
Okay, Lola.
And you don't swear
ever,
them. You don't swear them.
Don't ever go back to your.
Don't
ever go back to your husband's.
And let me tell you
house.
something.
Ted did not turn out okay.
I heard words that you could put them together. Like I was in boot camp when I was in the Air Force, and our drill instructor swore at us because they had to, and I was just like, this is like amateur hour because let me introduce you to the heavyweight champion of swearing who could make you look like. I mean, yeah. So okay. On a side note, that's just on a side note. So anyway,
their issue's not them turning out wrong.
Listen, okay, look, guys. All right, look, your grandmother, she lives in Vegas. She is who she is. You're not gonna send her to therapy. You're not gonna send her to counseling. You're not gonna, give her. If she's not gonna be a lesser, gentler version of herself, she's probably a tough old, mall who smokes Virginia Slims or Pall Malls and goes to the casino and goes to the Keno Lounge and has the 2 gloves on when she's playing 2 slot machines at the same time or 2 video poker machines. So so she is who she is. So here's what you can do. You can either one.
I love how you just buttonholed her.
Okay, look, you can put your kids up for adoption. So you don't have to expose them to that type of behavior ever again. Just kidding. You could leave them with relatives since you only see her twice a year, or you can simply have the kids. I don't know how you could do it. Like maybe
earmuffs.
In earmuffs. I was going to say earmuffs, the swear jar. You can have them in a different room while grandma's talking. Like
the swear jar for grandma or for the kids?
Well, obviously grandma might go bankrupt, so you might want to do that. So you can take a reverse mortgage on her house for that.
The deal is he wants his kids to see his mother.
Right, I know that, but she is who she is. So I mean, I guess you could talk to her on the side and say, "Hey, grandma, with all due respect, if you could just
We've mentioned it to her so many times, so they have talked to her.
Okay, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I would debrief the kids. They're almost old. Maybe not the 3-year-old.
8, 6, and 3.
Well, it's time to grow up. In Vietnam, there's 9-year-olds driving scooters. Okay, It's
But
pretty
they're not
tough. They're
swearing.
building houses. They're building houses. All right.
When we were like in first, second grade,
vendors.
we were swearing so much back then. Only in school, not in front of our parents, but more than we do now.
Yeah. Here's what you do. Actually, this is a good way to grow up early. Just take the kids aside and just say, you know what, Grandma, God bless her. She comes from a different, era of time. She's going to use some colorful language that we do not agree with. So I'm going to, in fact, tell them the words that she's probably going to use. She probably, people are creatures of habit, so she'll probably use the same words over and over again, whatever those words are.
So wait, on the trip to Grandma's, as you're driving, you just sit them in the back seat and say, kids, here's a list of words you're going to hear, and just start putting them and put them together in the greatest way ever, so that your kids are just like, what?
You can put them on a little placard, and just say, this is a bad word. This is a bad word. This is an inappropriate word you don't want to use. Unfortunately, Grandma does use these words, but I'm going to ask you to, when she uses those words, to, obviously
not laugh and repeat them.
Understand? Yeah. Please don't repeat those to your teacher, your friends. Because here's the thing: they're going to hear those words anyway. They're going to see a lot worse than that. They're going to see a lot worse than that when they grow up. So instead of learning that stuff at the age of, say, 12 or 13 or 10, they're learning at the age of 8, 6, and 3. So they're getting a head start. So they're ahead of the curve.
I don't know, man. I mean, a 3-year-old's just going to repeat what they hear.
Yeah, but you know what? Did hearing the word MFer ever kill a 3-year-old? I don't think so. So,
No, but I mean, do you really? I mean, you don't want to be in the store and then having somebody like, oh, what do you want to eat? You know what? I want some motherfucking checks. And then you're like, whoa, whoa.
No, that's exactly it. They're not worried about the kid dying because they're swearing.
Of course not. Yeah.
or the kid growing up to be a complete fucking derelict.
Understood.
They're worried about the language coming out of a 3-year-old's mouth when they're in the store.
I'm worried about the language coming out of your mouth on this podcast.
Don't worry about me. I'm 51 years old.
I got some earmuffs on, and I still can hear it. I still can hear you.
So just go over it and do your best to combat
obviously
it.
Obviously you're not going to leave the kids at home. So you're going to bring them with because the whole purpose is to have the kids see the grandma. Grandma's not going to change who she is. You've already tried to talk to her.
What if you duct tape?
You can do that.
Grandma? And she's just smiling the whole time? Yeah. She sees them, but she's not talking.
Or we can give her susnicoline where she could be completely drugged and conscious, but she just can't move.
You got to go down the drug path.
It's an option. It's like Weekend at Bernie's, except, we got to think she's dilated, but, she's okay.
So you go to Grandma's and you drug her so she can't say anything, and then you just flop her arms around so the kids... Yeah.
Well, you would attach strings like a marionette, so it looks like she's moving around, so you don't want to traumatize.
Well, someone's got to talk like her too. Then
the kid's going to grow up to be Dexter.
No, just say, Grandma's incapacitated right now. Unfortunately, she's suffering from a cold or some long COVID. That she's got some symptoms where she can't speak right now.
Grandma doesn't fucking look very good.
See, you just did it again.
That would be so difficult.
Are they from West Virginia? Because that's the vibe I got.
Yeah. It was Colorado.
Oregon.
Oh,
Oregon.
Okay. Yeah.
Oregon. I'm sorry. Right. Oregon, and Grandma's in Vegas. Maybe Vegas does that to you.
Yeah, Vegas. It is Sin City.
Ooh, she's learning the sins. All right. You know what? It's always funny when you give advice. So your advice is just go over the words.
Yeah, So it's like a problem. Get ahead of it, so you know what's coming. You're not going to separate the kids from Grandma because the whole purpose is to see Grandma.
So just desensitize them.
Desensitize them to that, and just say, this is wrong. When Grandma says this, that's inappropriate. You're going to hear those words anyway, kids. You're just hearing them like 5 years too early.
So like a week before you go, just every word out of their parents' mouth is just a swear.
In fact, you should record Grandma and then just play it over like a loudspeaker in the house, and then after a while you become desensitized to it. It's like no big deal.
Just hook it up to a Bluetooth speaker.
Exactly.
Asshole.
Pipe it in. Yeah.
Oh my God.
2 hours of that. 2 hours of MFer.
Oh my God. All right. So now I always have to ask because
3 hours of sea sucker. I don't know.
Yeah. I always have to ask Michelle. Is this? Did you agree with Ted's tip?
I think that you teach them that those are Vegas words. Just leave them in Vegas.
Oh, that's a good one. Good one. Brilliant. I didn't even think about that.
Perfect.
Okay, so Michelle, what do you?
Sin.
So let me ask you this: what are you doing next week around 6:15? Because it seems like you're better at this than Ted, and you literally. First time out.
Wait, I just got Wally pipped already? That was fast.
Although I did like the duct tape comment as well, and then they can just pull it off once she thinks a little bit about what she's going to say.
Oh, man. See, I feel like I'm going to be that. I feel like I'm one step away from being that guy.
I'm getting an unlawful restraint vibe with the duct tape, So I'm getting that kind of vibe.
But it's your mother. It's your mother. I feel like you can almost do anything,
okay.
Right? I mean, she's just going to accept that. Yeah. She's just going to, just move on from that. Okay, so let's get this thing rolling. If you're like us, and 99% of everyone on the planet, you hate Ohio State, and you watch the college football championship game last night.
It's the Ohio State, man. The Ohio State.
And that just makes it worse. Honest to God, that. Oh, man. I saw a guy. I was at the gym, and a guy had an Ohio State hat on, and he put the hat down. He went to work out, and as soon as he got far enough away, I just spit right in the hat, put it back.
They showed Urban Meyer on the sideline, too.
Did they? Was he kicking somebody?
He was not kicking anybody. Well, he was smiling.
Then it wasn't really Urban Meyer. Yeah. I think we know that. During the game, you probably heard the word NIL mentioned a bunch of times. You may love it. You may hate it. But like us, you probably really don't understand it. Our guest this week is going to help explain what is happening and help you decide if you should start homeschooling your kid, get them in a workout plan, and find your local steroid dealer, or it's not anything that's going to work out for you. Please welcome to the show Michelle Meyer from NIL Network.
Welcome,
Michelle.
Woo. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm excited to chat about all things name, image, likeness, this crazy world of college sports we're now living in.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I had no idea NIL stood for name, image, and likeness. It's a word that just kind of gets thrown out all the time. And
I asked what it was for the first time last week because actually I wasn't sure. So, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Michelle, just so people know, before we start, can you give us the quick version of what you do at NIL Network and how you're involved?
So my background's in college sports. I started NIL Network about 6 months before this whole thing went into effect. And really, I provide education and consulting with organizations, athletic departments, clubs, basically guidance around how to navigate this whole space and what's going on in it.
Oh, man. And it seems so it seems really hard to understand. But if I got this right, there's two main parts of NIL. NIL, as of right now, collective NIL and commercial NIL. Does that sound right?
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. And collective NIL is where schools actually pay kids to play, and commercial NIL is where they can go out and...
It's not the school.
They don't pay. The school doesn't pay.
Yeah. It's like boosters and...
All right, now you got to explain it to me because now I already don't know.
Donors and boosters and alumni. Go ahead.
Yeah, so when NIL went into effect, July of 2021... really name, image, likeness, rights of publicity, right? For everybody in the whole country has this right to own your own name, image, and likeness. So this went into effect very much with the idea of looking at like brand partnerships. So an athlete partnering with a business or brand to promote their products or services. But if you guys all follow college sports closely, you know the crazy culture around college sports. It is the boosters and donors of every university. They've been paying athletes under the table for decades and decades. We've all heard of the bags of cash and things like that. And what happened was now these collectives, NIL collectives, popped up almost immediately at like 3 months after this all went into effect. Collectives really are a organization that's separate from the university. Its job has been to fundraise money from their donors, from the same boosters of the school, and then to pay out mostly revenue-generating athletes. So football, basketball, and with the intent, even though this is a hush-hush part that we all know is happening, but to retain and recruit athletes and keep them at the school, those high-profile, kind of like game-changing athletes. So that is kind of the collective NIL, more on the fundraising side, paying athletes, which in all sense, but the word is the salary that probably and will be coming from the school in time. And then the other market being the more commercial NIL, which is the brand partnerships, like a Nike partnering with an athlete and the athletes promoting Nike's products.
So that was going to be one of my questions. So you think that sooner than later where universities are just going to flat out offer payments to student athletes?
So there is one of, I would say, a dozen or so lawsuits against the NCAA right now. The biggest one is the House versus NCAA case, which is meant to be settled by the NCAA in April and go into effect this summer, actually, which will allow any school who opted in to directly pay athletes up to, I think the latest figure I saw was $21 million a year. And so they're still calling it NIL, and that would be compensation from the school, but it's basically a way to get around them being considered employees, which is a whole nother talking point for college sports. But
so back to the donations. These donations aren't, I'm a tax guy, isn't tax deductible. It's just a bunch of alumni just getting together because they want Ohio State or Georgia to win. And so these are just, they call it donations, but it's not really a donation. this
Well,
organization.
so what's really interesting about that, in the first 3.5 years, a lot of these collectives actually did register as nonprofits
501(c)(3).
and have told the donor, yeah. And so the IRS has come out recently and said, this
No.
is not, this is not tax deductible. And so they're all having to like shift that model. And that's what the universities actually want, because it's the same boosters donors that they're competing for. And, you know, that money is being allocated now or split between two ways, and the universities are nonprofit, so you can get that tax benefit by donating to the university and now not the collective.
That is, see, no, it seems crazy. So, was the idea like, how did this start? Did it start because the NCAA had all of the money? I mean, how does this come from? You can't do anything. Like, I remember baseball players or guys getting drafted and going to the Olympics and getting kicked out of their sport because they got a free bag at the Olympics or something. How does it go from the NCAA has all the money to now these kids can get pretty much anything?
Yeah. So it really, I mean, it's been a lot of lawsuits over the last couple of decades. But as these bigger TV deals have really come into effect with the revenue generating sports and football and basketball that are now generating hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot are going, well, this isn't fair. Like, we are generating a lot more money for our school than we are making in our scholarship or whatnot. And so what started really pushing it, Ed O'Bannon was a basketball player in the 90s, UCLA.
Yep.
There was a big case, Ed O'Bannon versus NCAA, that got settled in 2015, which essentially was around, even after Ed had graduated, EA Sports, the NCAA, or the NCAA, and I think it was CLC, maybe Learfield, was selling off the rights of the athlete's likeness, not using their name, not using their direct image, but everything else looked exactly like Ed O'Bannon, right? Same height, same way he plays, same shooting style. After he had graduated, he wasn't getting any royalties back from that. So that lawsuit that got settled in 2015 kind of, in my opinion, brought a lot of public awareness just to this concept of the NCAA retaining those rights, even long after the athletes had graduated. Fast forward another couple of years, in 2019, California was the first state to pass a state NIL law that would go into effect a couple of years later that said any college athletes in the state of California, regardless of the NCAA rules, will be able to make money off of their name, image, and likeness starting, I think it was 2023 was their initial enactment date. And that started this whole cascade of states standing up to the NCAA and saying, enough is enough. Like, I mean, really, you have the competitive balance for recruiting as well. You can't have California allow this and not all these other states. So they all started kind of panicking and pushing through this legislation that by July of 2021, the NCAA pretty much threw their hands up and said, we're allowing it across the country. We have all these scattered state laws. There's about 25 that had passed it, I think, at the time. So really, I'd say the states kind of pushed the hand to accelerate this a little bit more. And then there wasn't a lot the NCAA could do. I mean, they've been very not proactive for the last couple of decades. I think that they've had plenty of opportunities to update a lot of things and just haven't. They've been fighting it kind of tooth and nail. It is complex. So, but yeah, so here we are.
And some states, there's really no set rules at all for how this works. Is that right? None.
Yeah, so the NCAA, when the rule changed, they had like three kind of rules. One being that there would have to be a quid pro quo, so some kind of activity for the compensation. Second one, that nothing could be contingent on enrollment or continued enrollment at a university, which has obviously been pushed very far, but you could still kind of circumvent that. And then the third one being that there's no contracts, NIL deals that are contingent on like your performance on the field. So you can't get, bonuses for rushing a certain number of yards or number of touchdowns or whatnot. But the problem being, even with those three rules, is the NCAA is so far backed into a corner right now and has so many lawsuits against them that they don't really have a lot of room to push back, even when these rules have been pushed to the limits pretty much.
Those rules are funny to me, just like the guys in Ohio State. Yeah, it's not for performance, but he's getting $1 million because he's the starting quarterback and they want him to come back next year because of his performance. Right. So I know that's the rule, but it doesn't make any sense.
I was under the impression that a lot of these regulations by states and universities were to keep the NIL agreements from being used for recruitment purposes. Is that what you meant by that? I mean, they're trying to not to make this a recruitment thing.
But it is.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that was definitely a rule that I forget what the legal term for it was, but like that actually was really damaging athletes because like they are getting all these offers into them. And I'm talking again, this is like the 0.01% of the top college athletes, right? But because they didn't want to risk their eligibility, they couldn't actually put anything in writing, sign any of these deals guaranteeing that money until they had signed with the university. And these offers are coming from these third party organizations. And a lot of them weren't coming like afterwards, they would change the offer or they would just like, it was real. I mean, it still is a lot of shady business that's going on. But what happened, there was another lawsuit, I think it was in Tennessee, that ended up being they call it injunction maybe, where now it's just a moot point. Like for the time being, there's no ruling on it, but the NCAA can't not let athletes sign like a legally binding agreement before they sign with the school.
Okay, so let's run it through. Let's just say I'm a freshman. I'm going into a school and I sign a NIL agreement. Let's just say first $200,000. I'm a pretty decent player and I sign with Texas for $200,000. How do I get my money? I mean, can they not pay me to start off? Like if I go there and I play half the year and then I say, where's my money? And can they say, yeah, you know what, we changed our mind?
It's a contract, huh?
If you have a bad contract. So, I mean, for those, again, it's a very, very top athletes that are signing those kinds of large contracts, but hopefully they have somebody in their corner, an attorney, somebody who's looking that contract over and making sure that they're being guaranteed that compensation, because there have been, I mean, dozens of stories already where, it's either a handshake deal or there are out clauses in the contract and the athlete doesn't have anyone else read it that has a legal background, and then they end up getting screwed over. And so, yeah, it's tough. But I will say, like, for most of the contracts as well, they're getting paid weekly, biweekly, monthly, and that's like a set amount that they're getting every month. It's a salary, again, in every sense of the word, except for they're not allowed to call it that. Yeah.
Yeah, but what? I mean, the thing that drives me crazy is, like you said, it's like 0.1% of every athlete that's in college. Why should we care about that? Because the NIL is really there so that kids can accept things, right? Like, somebody could buy them lunch and they not get suspended, right? I mean, all those things are now in play. They can get stuff that just gets them through their college life, right? Maybe a couple grand, maybe some clothes, maybe some food, maybe this, maybe a car from a car dealer while they're on campus, at school, things like that. The stuff that we're talking about, like millions of dollars and stuff, that's just stupid. I don't care about that athlete because they're going to make more than that in the pros anyway. And they don't care about the university, and they don't care about school, right? Most of those guys getting 20, like Sanders.
Barry Sanders, or not?
No,
Deion Sanders.
Shedeur
Yeah.
Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a joke, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that people are really paying attention to this just because you've seen the crazy headlines getting thrown around about all these millions of dollars and all this and that. And it comes back to just kind of the culture of college sports. Like all of the stuff that was happening below the table before is now above board. And I think a lot of people probably didn't realize all that was happening below before. And it's just like, whoa. Like these are student athletes. These are college, they're here for school. And you're like, not the ones that are making that much money. Like,
So
let's be real.
I just read a case. I don't know the details. Maybe you do, but it was a school is actually suing another school for poaching their NIL player. It was just recent. It was within the last couple of weeks. Did you hear anything about that? Am I hearing that right?
I don't know if I know the specific one you're talking about, but it seems like every couple of days there's a new lawsuit that pops up around the space.
Gotcha.
But I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
All right, so I read a report that said there's 500,000 college athletes, and 450,000 of them are getting something from the NIL. Does that sound accurate?
No, I don't think so. I mean, all of them can do it. I mean, the ones that are making that big amount of money, I would say is probably less than 1,000 of them. Probably significantly less than 1,000. Well, I mean, I guess if we're looking at Power 4 schools, I don't know, maybe 2,500, let's say. And then outside of that, from what I've talked to with like the NIL directors on campus and things like that, I still think we're sitting at like around 25% of their athletes that are participating at all. So that's around, I don't know, 100,000 maybe. And then there's also a lot of deals that are, like you just repost this and you get, a t-shirt or something like that. And so that's being considered, participating as well when it maybe isn't moving the needle for them very much financially at all.
Could you speak of that? Because I read your book materials and it talked about just the regular, most of these are less than $1,000. What for the normal student? Like my daughter played college soccer, mid-major. She's not getting offers from the collective like you're talking about. What's the experience for a normal athlete that the 400,000 or the 25% that's getting some money? What are they doing?
Yeah, and so this is myself, I'm a former D1 volleyball coach, and when this passed, I was like, man, this would be so cool for my former athletes. They would have loved to coach volleyball camps or like partner with local restaurants and get meals and build those business connections. And so for most of the athletes, it is a part-time job. It is work. They have to, build an audience, build a community. Most of these activities are happening through their social media channels, whether that's Instagram, TikTok, again, promoting products and services. And they're getting it in exchange for $50 here, $100 here, free meals, something like that, which again, I think is great for the majority of college athletes would be very happy with that. And it would take care of a lot of expenses like just groceries and things that potentially they don't have spending money for right now. So, but I will say, I think when I was at, San Diego State as their NIL admin, there were a number of athletes that had come up and be like, oh, where's my NIL money? And I'm like, well, it doesn't really work like that for most of you guys. It is a job. But I also think there's a lot of cool benefits for it. They get to know their community. They get to build professional connections with founders or marketing people or whatever they're, interested in and studying. They can go in and actually do a lot of cool work and some creative initiatives with different businesses. So that's why I like it.
So I got a couple of these. I thought this was kind of neat. There's a football player. He's a wide receiver at Louisiana Tech. His name is DeColdest Crawford, and he actually signed a deal with a local air conditioning company. Okay.
DeColdest?
DeColdest. Yeah. Bijan Robinson, when he was at Texas, he started selling Dijon mustard called there's a brand called Bijan Mustardson. Let's see. Kool-Aid McKinstry. We all know him, right, from Georgia. He actually worked with Kool-Aid. And then this is one that I thought was really cool. A gymnast, Sam Phillips. He was a black gymnast, okay, first gay and black gymnast. He started working with different businesses, and he signed an agreement with a company that makes athletic tape in different shades to match skin tones. Oh. And that was his thing because he's very proactive like that. Are you, when you're doing because you're doing things like that, are you looking for that really unique thing? Is that something if you do that really changes the way it is?
Yeah, I mean, I think those are all fantastic examples. I hadn't heard that last one. That's great. But yeah, I think for athletes that are pursuing this, how do you find something that isn't just oh, I am an athlete in this sport? What else makes them unique? What are they interested in? What do they add beyond just being an athlete? And then finding brands and businesses that align with that make for great partnerships. And usually if you're having, your social media audience, let's say it's on Instagram, they're probably following you for more reasons than you're just an athlete. And if that brand that you partner with aligns with you, probably your audience might be interested in that brand or business as well. So, yeah, those are definitely very, very cool examples.
Would you suggest to an athlete to change their name legally?
Wait, I got it. Doritos, Pepsi.
Doritos.
Jimmy BMW or something like that. And then the back of his jersey is BMW. And it's just a natural sponsorship opportunity, right?
I think it's a great idea. Let's get it out there now.
I like that because your book, you got a book out. It's called Personal Branding for NIL and Beyond. Okay. Do you have something in there like that where you can say, listen, get that name changed? Listen, you're not Bob Johnson. You're Mercedes-Benz Johnson.
That's it.
That's what you are.
I'll have to add that into the next version, and I'll credit you guys. I'll throw it back your way once I put that in.
Oh man, that's
Love it.
okay. You know what?
So there was one other story I want to bring. You were bringing up athletes. Javon Dexter, who plays for the Chicago Bears, he's in a lawsuit right now because when he was in college, he accepted $430,000 for future earnings, NFL earnings, and he signed for $6 million, and he owes him like $1 million, and he said it's not. And then the laws changed like 2 years after he signed that contract, right?
So is that like one of those funding places where, like, if you have like a lawsuit going, they'll pre-fund you because they know you're going to get a settlement? So that's kind of what he did.
Yeah, they gave him money up front,
and now he owes that with interest.
But listen to this: 15% of all of his NFL earnings for 25 years. That's not just his salary; that's all of his sponsorship money, anything he does related to the NFL. He has to give him 15% the rest for 25 years.
Yeah, wow.
And they gave him $436,000. Now he's trying to get out of it because he signed it, and now they changed the law since then, but he signed it in the old law, right?
Yeah, that should
I don't even know if he signed it in the old law, but I know that gosh, there's so many of those companies that have popped up over the last couple of years, like we'll front you money, but then we're going to take a lot on the back end should you make it pro. It's a little crazy. But like that one also goes back to just the importance of having legal guidance. Like if you're signing into those big contracts, like you definitely need to have a lawyer that's looking those over and really explaining everything that's going on in it. Because I think even beyond, those companies that continue to pop up now, what we've also seen is a lot of these like NIL agents that there's no standard for agents in the space right now. Anybody can call themselves an agent, pop up a website, and start DMing athletes on Instagram tomorrow and saying, yo, I'm an agent, like come work with me, I'll get you all the money. And so a lot of those agents are also signing athletes into forever contracts where they're saying you only can work with me and we get a certain like a high percent, or you have to give a high percentage of your collective deal. Some of them I've seen up to 20% of a collective deal. It's ridiculous. But then if they get drafted, they also have to continue working with this agent or paying them out. I guess they don't have to work with them anymore, but and that's again just like there's no regulations around that whole market, which is just, it's a scary place. I guess it always has been for those really high profile athletes. They have people approaching them all the time, but it's, yeah.
Well, here's what's funny. Javon Dexter, the company that he signed that deal with, it's BLAF, Big League Advanced Fund.
Yeah.
Oh, God. That's the name of the company he signed with, Big League Advanced Fund.
So I'm guessing where a lot of these kids come from. They come from places where they're not getting good advice from parents or family members. I mean, what percentage of kids are getting taken advantage of? Is it as big as? I mean, is it seem as terrible as it would be? Because I mean, at least in the pros, when you get drafted, you get a certain amount of money and things are set. What percentage of kids are getting taken advantage of here?
I think it's hard to say because like there are some, of course the national storylines I've probably seen a dozen, 24 over the last 4 years. But how many but I also know that there's a lot of kids who they didn't make the national headlines because they're either embarrassed about it, like they don't want to share. Mm-hmm. They think that they've messed up in a way that and so those stories aren't even out there. And how many, if I've heard of, another dozen or so of those, like how many are there total? It's hard to say.
Michelle, so what do? You're a consultant for athletes as well as the universities that might be representing them, or what's your role in this whole thing? You're not an agent. You're an administration through this. What is your role with your organization?
Yeah, it's kind of shifted, I'll say, over the last 4 years, just because the industry being so new, and I've kind of just wherever people have needed me is kind of where I've gone, but mostly like consulting or education with organizations. So like if that's athletic departments and what kind of resources they're putting together for their athletes, if they want me to provide workshops and things for their athletes, I've done that. Working with a lot of startups in the space on kind of the overall landscape. Clubs, junior sports clubs that want their athletes to just prepare and prepare for their NIL opportunities. So I kind of like to call it like I teach the teacher almost.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. It's fun. It's always changing.
So do schools, I'm guessing that if I'm a big time athlete and I go to University of Michigan and I'm talking to them, do they have an NIL person there saying, hey, listen, we're going to give you this, but you have an opportunity to make this. I mean, are they throwing those numbers out at me and helping me, or are they throwing those numbers out at me to get me to go there and then, whatever? Is there actual real help, or is it just kind of like a, hey, man, you can make this much if you come here?
Yeah, so every Power 4 school will have some kind of NIL administrator, director that's in-house now. They aren't usually managing those type of meetings with the money guaranteed. They're more there to help athletes, with their brand strategy. Now they can be a little more proactive with seeking brand deals for them. But at the bigger schools with football and basketball, typically the head coach would set them up with a meeting with the NIL collective. And the collective is the one that's really managing and handling that purse, which is so funny to me. Again, going back to how boosters donors have, been basically skirting around the NCAA rules for the last couple of decades. NCAA has never been able to control them. And now with this whole change, they are fully in control. The NCAA can't do anything about it. Now, in saying fully in control, of course, the coach is giving them a list of players that they want and working with them on that budget and whatnot. But it's been interesting. And if this House case gets settled and schools are directly paying athletes, that'll be interesting as well. What happens with these collectives? A lot of them have turned more towards being marketing agencies, going after, brands and businesses to partner with athletes on more brand deals. But it's still going to continue to change and evolve over the next, I don't know, probably 5 years, to be honest.
So I saw a bunch of guys, talking heads on ESPN, and they were saying that the NCAA has no power anymore, and that the only way that this was going to work is if the Congress made some rules. Now, I started looking this up, and I see that, and this is kind of scary to me. The Senate Commerce Committee is the one that are going to do this, and I don't know if anybody knows that the head of the Senate Commerce Committee is Ted Cruz, and I would say that he's a notorious dumb shit. Okay, I don't know. He's a dumb shit. I don't know if you would decide if he's notorious.
Went to Harvard.
Oh man, you know what? I bet Harvard is doing that thing where they cross his name out. I really do. But so they've got to get involved. I mean, once that gets involved, I mean, I feel like it just went from scummy to scummier. I mean, do we have to rely on the Congress to do something about this, and could they actually do it?
So there's probably been around 10 bills that have been proposed around NIL and so many congressional hearings. I'm how they, it's the craziest part too. They meet and then they bring their little mini helmets because they're fans of whatever school, and they sit them on their desk and they are bickering back and forth. I'm this is absolutely insane. But yeah, so all these bills, nothing has gotten anywhere so far. That's kind of the ideas. It would be very challenging to pass. Now, who knows, with a new administration and more alignment on the Republican side, I don't know. But it was a very interesting move. The NCAA's new president, he came in, Charlie Baker, a couple of years ago. He was the first time it's not a person from higher education that's the president. He's actually a former politician. And when he was a politician, he was known for being able to essentially reach across the aisle and make stuff happen. And so it was a very strategic hire by them. He hasn't been able to really get anything through yet, but they're trying. They're spending a lot of money lobbying the government and asking for that bill, because that really would save the NCAA. Really, the whole model needs to be broken down to the ground.
Yeah, I was going to say Congress is completely dysfunctional and useless. They can't pass anything. So, but like I said, maybe with a new administration, if they have control of the House and Senate, But like I said, I mean, if you could do something through executive action versus anything through Congress, because like I said, they can't even solve the housing crisis in Congress, which has been there for the last 20 years. It's just getting worse and worse. So I can't imagine this being a priority, bigger than the housing crisis in America. I wouldn't rely on Congress at all for anything.
No, I agree with what Michelle said. With these guys putting their little helmets up there and being fans,
that's true.
They're going to make whatever they do.
They're more motivated now.
Yeah, they'll make some rules. So here's what I'm thinking. At some point, you take those Power 4 or Power 5 conference schools. It's going to be. Is it going to be a minor league? I mean, they're going to be paid to play. I know. I mean, I was looking at. All the Ohio State guys were talking about how they took, I think they had a $20 million payroll. They took money to stay in college rather than to go to the NFL so that they would have this team. I mean, is that what it's going to turn into?
That's what it is right now, I think.
Yeah, I think it's already kind of there and everything again, but name, I would say. So
That's what I mean. It was a bit. Caitlin Clark was the first one to buck the system on that because she went to the pros. She could have stayed at Iowa and made way more money.
Yep.
That's I can't believe she went to the pros then. She makes nothing in the pros.
But now her endorsements are just a whole nother level. So she just
I think she got 20 million in endorsements.
Yeah, what she started was great. Which is kind of the point of this whole thing.
But I know
now she's sitting in the box with Taylor Swift. Yeah. So
that was.
But
beautiful,
I know
beautiful thing.
Angel Reese, who went to LSU, I think she said she played. I think she plays for Chicago. She only makes $75,000 a year. But that's not including her endorsements. But that salary is
same thing.
Nothing compared to the counterpart.
All right, so and I want to get into this because we're talking about football and basketball, but there's a lot of other deals, and this is weird. And I want to bring this up: is a lot of this NIL based on good lookingness? Because it seems to me that a lot of the people that are making money in fringe sports are just incredibly attractive women or really good looking guys who are doing things to get this money. Is that part of that deal? Like, I mean, do you really need to be good looking to make NIL money?
I mean, I think it goes back to like building a community or an audience online, right? So if and I wouldn't even say this is athlete specific, but I think just even looking at the history of social media, that people like to follow attractive people. So they garner these bigger kind of communities and followings. But I would say like that's kind of like the Instagram side of things. I would say TikTok actually is I don't know. I've seen a lot of athletes absolutely crush it on TikTok and do a lot of cool brand deals over there as well. So maybe it's a little platform specific, but yeah, I think it's not doesn't have to be that way, but I think just our society kind of has.
I think I
read
read
that direction anyway.
The third highest NIL is that Liv Dunn, the LSU gymnast, and again,
Olivia Dunn.
She's more of a social influencer.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's number 3 on the list behind Arch Manning and Sanders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's kind of where Matt was leading. Like, at the end of the day, what gets popular and what gets you money? Who's going to follow you?
Yeah. And obviously, she's very attractive. Of course,
I think she's a really good gymnast too.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
We wouldn't be having
Paul Skeen's girlfriend actually,
but not looking like William Dafoe helps too.
The rookie of the year pitcher.
If she was the greatest gymnast in the world, and she looked exactly like a female Willem Dafoe, she would not have. She would not be making any money. That I can guarantee.
None of this would be an issue if we weren't talking about the very low percentage of like those 3 people, right?
Right.
I mean, this wouldn't even be that big of an issue because we're not talking about a large percentage getting a large amount of money. We're talking about a very small percentage getting a large amount of money, and everybody else just trying to get a little something to get through college. So if everyone stopped talking about Sanders and Manning and, oh, my God, look how much, or trying to keep Caitlin Clark over for another year and all this, if everybody just, so what? It's like one person out of a million. Then we would probably have a quicker solution to this, right?
Well, I think then there wouldn't even need to really be a solution because it would just be, and I think even looking at, the high-profile athletes that are doing legitimate national brand deals, like Livy Dunn with Viore, right? So she with the clothing brand, and they're paying her a lot of money because she put in the time and effort to again, athletes are putting in the time and effort on their sport. She also was building all this content, posting a lot of stuff during COVID and whatnot, and built like millions and millions of followers. And so national brands, even outside of everything to do with her being an athlete, are going to want to partner with her because she can get their brand in front of a huge audience. And so like those, even I think it's more the kind of like pay for play, the tampering that's going on right now. That's really aggravating everyone, obviously, because it's, that's just a whole other piece, which could potentially be solved if NCAA and all the universities would just admit that at least the revenue generating athletes, like, they are kind of employees of the university. And that's the big battle right now as well. There's a couple lawsuits about their employment status at USC. I forget Dartmouth, I think, last year.
They want to unionize. Yeah, they want to form a union.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Yeah. So that's the other thing. Okay, so if I sign a deal with a school, am I signing for 1 year? I mean, how fast can I leave? If I play at Michigan for 1 year, let's just say I play at Michigan for 1 year. I sign a nice NIL deal there. Then I go over to Iowa. Then I go to Alabama. I spend it all. Is there anything keeping me there for an extended period of time?
The portal opened that up.
Yeah, not really. And like in terms of, I think across sports, if you look at the scholarship agreements, they kind of differ a little bit. But my understanding, you sign in with your scholarship agreement, and then as soon as that fall or when the transfer portal opens, you can transfer and you can start school as soon as January. You might have to sit out like that spring season. But I think that the transfer portal plus NIL has been really disruptive, especially in the recruiting space, and especially for like high school athletes that are hoping to get recruited and play in college, because college coaches in general would prefer a player in the portal that's maybe a little bit more proven that they can perform at like whatever level than taking a kid out of high school. And so a lot of kids have just been jumping. I mean, good on them. They've made a lot of money, but they've just been jumping around. And then those deals are even bigger than the ones for kids that are coming straight out of high school. So
Yeah, see, that's the thing that I thought. Like, if you're a good freshman, why would I go to Oklahoma or Tennessee or Texas? I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna sit for sure while somebody else comes in, and then I got to worry about all the transfer ins. I mean, it seems like it's however good it's been for kids, that there's a lot of kids that are just going to be pushed to the side and pushed out, and we're not seeing the negative part of that.
No, the portal has ruined it for high school kids. I know basketball coaches in high school, and they have talented players, but they're not even being recruited to sit on the bench. They're not even being looked at D1 schools anymore because the transfer portal is their number one source for incoming players each season now.
So now these kids small schools? That's how Western Michigan to have some
now,
good guys.
Well, the problem is these D1 players are going to D2 and D3 schools now. And they're excelling for a year or two. Then they get in the transfer portal as a junior or a senior. Now they're in D1 schools. I personally know 3 athletes that had to do that. They're better than most players on a lot of these mid-major teams, but they had to go to a D2 school or D3 school for 2 years and then get in the transfer portal. Now they have value because they're not a 17 or 18-year-old kid. They're a 21-year-old kid that's played already.
I always kind of go back and forth on like looking at it from a coach's perspective. I know the coaches hate it for a number of reasons, but looking at like, does that really hurt the athlete's development? Because if they were to go to, let's say, a powerhouse school and sit on the bench and not really get even a lot of practice minutes, are they developing at the same rate as if they go to a smaller school and they are, getting all the practice time and then they're starting every game, getting a lot of minutes, and developing that way, where then they're transferring in the portal to one of those powerhouse schools? Like, I don't know.
And then it just becomes that thing where you're just poaching. You're literally, you have somebody there who, and this is the thing I said about that transfer portal and the NIL money. I mean, you have somebody standing there and walking over to the kid from UNLV or the kid from New Mexico State and saying, I mean, do you even know how that works? Can I just walk up to a kid and just say, hey man, I got $2 million, or I got 500,000. Come on over to Texas and we'll see you next year. Can you do that?
I mean, not. You're not supposed to be doing that, but I would say that everybody's doing it. So I guess it doesn't make it as illegal. I don't know. But the other interesting part, like again, these high profile players will have these NIL agents that will start fishing around and like, hey, are you interested? How much do you have? How much can you offer, before they even get in the portal? So you're seeing a lot of kids that get in the portal. They already know where they're going, but they have to just go through the process. So they're there for a day and then they sign with their new school because it was already said and done before they were even in there.
Oh, and there's no rules for the agents, you said. They could just be anybody.
Yep.
The Real 3 Idiots NIL Sports Agency. That's exactly what I see. Okay. You know what? I like the concept. I really like the concept. Because Mark knows a little bit about basketball. I know a little bit about football. And Ted can just stand in the corner and, just kind of do whatever he does.
Get Arch Manning on speed dial right now.
We just need to make friends with professional athletes, and then make sure that they're marrying other athletes, and that they're having those kids, and then we get right in there like 8. We hit everybody when they're 6 and 8. Yeah. That'd be the key, right? Because weren't they kind of recruiting Arch Manning when he was like 10 years old?
Well, they were doing that. They were doing that 20 years ago. They were having almost college, not pro scouts, but college scouts. Scouting kids like games in like grade school. like 7th, 8th grade for not for high school but for college. If their kid was like exceptional, So
I remember
that's been going on for years.
Didn't
LeBron's son? That's sixth grade, I think.
Yeah, 6th grade. 6th grade.
You're not allowed to do that though. So they weren't the coaches going there. There's other people going.
Okay, so based on what Michelle is saying, they're not allowed. That's doesn't mean anything. There's literally only half the states have.
Yeah, but I mean, John Shire can't walk into a gym and sit down and watch a kid.
No, but he could send somebody.
That's what I mean. They're sending other people.
But all the parents are sending emails and setting the direction. They could take the call. They can't make the call. Yeah. It was just like that when my daughter was getting recruited. It's the same thing.
So does this make parents more insane? I mean, are we going to see like more craziness? Like, and I wasn't even kidding about homeschooling. I mean, are we going to see more people just trying to make that money? Like, because it's 17-year-old kids, and it kind of freaks me out.
Well, look how many parent fights break out at like a 10-year-old's Pop Warner football game. So so the answer to your question is yes. Yes.
I mean, is that a thing? I mean, is everything going to get crazier before it gets normal?
I mean, I would say the parents have been crazy for a long time, but I don't know. I think the other day I had a consulting call, like on my website, they can just book calls, half hour, 60 minutes, whatever. And I say, provide as much information so I can prepare for it. But sometimes they just give, one sentence and I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll just show up and see what happens. And I think the kid was in 7th grade and the mom wanted to help him just build his audience and prepare for NIL. And she's like, yeah, so how does this NIL work? Do we just sign up for it or what? Oh no.
He or she is my ticket.
Yeah. He's scoring 5 baskets in the game. Every game, 5 baskets.
She's my ticket out of this.
Oh my God! You know what? I'd love to see. What are those pageants? Don't they have those little kid pageants? I would love to see a little kid pageant NIL. That would be awesome.
I'm getting a Hunger Games vibe right now.
Yeah.
You've never even seen the Hunger Games.
Let's say I
never seen that.
I heard of it.
Six months to a year ago, maybe, that I got an email from somebody who was planning an event for a showcase type event for 7th and 8th grade middle school basketball players. And he wanted to bring in NIL agents around that. And so he wanted my contact list of these 8. I'm like, absolutely not supporting that. Sorry.
That's when you give them our number. Yep. That's what we're here for. From now on, email Matt.
TRI. Perfect. We won't say the real 3 idiots because that sounds absolutely terrible. That is the worst thing
set them
of all time. So TRI.
Remember Empire Carpets?
TRI NIL.
TRI NIL.
Remember Empire Carpets 588-2300 Empire.
Matt will get that email and say 8th grade. Nah, that's too old for us.
Yeah, we're going.
We're looking more like 3rd, 4th graders.
Yeah, if you haven't excelled at age 6, you don't even exist to me. You're dead to me. Don't even look at me.
We could really mess with some people.
Oh, that would be. Oh my!
You ever heard of a late bloomer?
No, I want early. Ted, a sure thing is an early bloomer.
What if he peaks? What if he peaks in 8th grade? What if that's a ceiling?
How good was Tiger Woods? He was playing golf. Didn't he get his first hole in one when he was 4 years old or something like that?
Yeah.
Or he's shooting par at 4. That's it.
Einstein didn't speak until he was 9. They thought he was an imbecile.
And you know what? He would never get a nil deal from us.
No, but you know what? No. There are some sports.
No.
There are sports that are catered to really young kids, like gymnastics and tennis. Tennis especially, right? And
yeah,
when you're
I would
15, 16 years old, you're already on your way out in tennis now. It's crazy.
Well, that's a girl sport thing, right? I mean, isn't girl sports seem much more geared towards being good when you're younger? Does that seem accurate?
Girls develop faster. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're smarter. They're I mean, let's just be honest. They're just better. They're better versions of men. Girls are better versions of men. Yeah. Much more intelligent. Michelle, thanks so much for being on. Let me do this again one more time. You got a book, Personal Branding for NIL and Beyond. It's a really neat book. I had no idea that all these things kind of existed, but at least it gives you kind of a taste for what's happening. We really appreciate you being on and helping us out with everything, and we wish you all the best of luck with everything that's going on.
Cool. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you for having me. Fun conversation.
All right. Take care. Thank you so much. Ciao. Oh, man.
That was very informative.
Dude, it's
yeah.
I don't know. It's so weird to me that we went from nothing to everything, and that there's nothing they can do about it.
Well, I'm saying it is like Hunger Games because, I mean, you're talking about thousands of dollars, millions of dollars.
He hasn't read the book. He hasn't seen the movie.
He hasn't read the book.
I've seen all 3 movies.
Or seen the movie.
Cutthroat competition. And, there's going to be a level of cheating. There's going to be a level of cutthroatness, because money's it's just human nature. It's not rocket science.
I think you're confusing the movie with the Cannonball Run.
Actually, I'm surprised you haven't. How come you haven't reviewed the movie Hunger Games
I haven't
on the
seen
show?
it. I haven't seen it.
Well, that's a
You haven't
shame because
seen
I
it?
saw.
Is
I
that
saw
where you
Hunger
go,
Games.
Ted? Is that where you go from that?
I saw Hunger Games.
That's where you go from that.
Yeah.
Right there from that.
You need to see Hunger Games reviewed on the show, please.
No, I'm
or
just.
I'll do it.
No, I'm just a little nervous for people getting taken advantage of.
That's man. I think that's the. I don't know. I think the best athletes out there are the ones that are being solicited and being taken advantage of. Like your average athlete's not being approached by anybody. So they have to, like what Michelle does, creates a guide. If they want something, then they need to go out and sell themselves like local businesses.
And that's going to help them
apparel.
later in their
But if
career.
you-
the
yeah,
mentor-
and it's going to give them a little some cash, and then you can't deal with the people that are going to get paid $10 million.
That cash is so small. Like in our book, it said less than $1,000 for 89% of them. So it's just like they'd be better off working at Starbucks or at a bar getting tips than that. To be honest,
But here's
with
the thing we didn't discuss: these a lot of these athletes. They might peak in college. Look at all the guys who won the Heisman. Like
But that's what they're there for.
Andre Ware won the Heisman. Was a terrible pro.
But a college.
There's no
only
guarantee
care-
he's going to go
But
pro.
Teddy,
that's
they don't care about your
that's why they take the money
proness.
now.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ohio State can win, if Ohio State can spend $20 million a
and
year
win right now,
and spend $25 million next year and 30, and win 3 straight things because their guys are staying. I mean, what the one kid said, he goes, we've got guys on offense and defense that played over 50 games.
Yeah.
Okay, so they stuck around when they could have gotten drafted.
Right.
Because there was more money at this.
Well, there's more money. Well, it's like amateur bowling. I'll give you an analogy. So, like years ago, there used to be these mega high roller tournaments. They don't exist anymore. But you could make more as an amateur bowler going to Vegas and and you'd have sponsors, of course, because you're a top amateur in the country. Kind of like it's the same analogy. And you have these professional sponsors. They sponsor you. Don't have to pay anything. And these guys are winning $50,000, $100,000 in a tournament where the top guy in the PGA Tour or the PBA Tour might win about the same thing, and your competition's a lot weaker, obviously.
Well, that's the good. That's the good news about this. At the end of the day, like, okay, we're all mad about Ohio State, $20 million, but there's 60-something players.
Very mad about
so the average kid, again, there's some making $1 million. They're making what, 200,000-300,000, let's say.
Sure.
They would have never made it to the pros. They would have never.
They would have made it to the pros anyway.
Exactly. They're making more money than maybe we are today. You know what I mean?
So
this is good news for them.
Actually, this might be the most they ever make in their life.
And this
when
could
you
give
think
them a
about
good
it.
start. So
Ohio State as a team got money?
No, the players in this collective.
Oh, seriously? I didn't know that.
$20 million. I think they're the highest, or they're the
so
second
they
highest.
they split it amongst the team.
I think it was them in Texas.
Well, some guys get it's.
Oh, okay. Tier,
some guys make $1 million, and
the
guys on the bench maybe make $50,000. So they're making some money that they should have probably gotten because we all watched the game yesterday. At the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah, but here's
I watched it with no sound. I watched it with no sound, and I said a lot of words that Grandma would say.
Yeah. But here's the problem I had with this forever. It's always been an unfair system.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Always.
When the money was involved. Okay, first of all, you couldn't there was no nil. You sign to play on the team, you couldn't sell yourself, you couldn't take money, you couldn't do this. But then there was
free education.
Yeah, but I know there's
$100,000.
So on basketball there's 15 players, right?
Right.
And 8 of them are full ride scholarship players. And of the 8, 2 barely get in the game. And you got 7 or 8 other players on the team that are working even harder at practice, and they get shit. It's never been fair.
It's always been like that.
That's not fair.
It's the same thing, though.
Yeah,
I know.
The athletes are going to get 100% scholarships. Other ones get 50. Other gets 25. It's the same
even
thing.
worse now because it's money.
Yeah.
So now it's an issue. Before it was an unfair, broken system, but now you're talking about now everyone wants a piece of the money the universities are making. Why?
I think some people might have an unrealistic expectation for what they're worth.
But it was ridiculous.
And then they can move from school to school to school and never play.
But there was coaches that got suspended for buying their team's lunches or stuff like that.
Okay, yeah,
that
it was obviously
over the
very
top.
silly. It was very silly.
Well,
But I think
now
Michelle
the
said this.
pendulum
The
swung the other way.
The NCAA sat on their hands for decades when they could have just easily resolved this and said, okay, we're going to give everybody on every team $2,000 a semester.
Yeah.
Or $1,500 across the board.
Yeah. And you know why they didn't? Do you know why?
Greed.
No, you know why? Because people will not do what's in their own best interest unless it's absolutely necessary. Look at everything throughout human history.
Well,
even if it's your own best interest, you will not do unless you absolutely have to.
And how do you monitor that? When you put these rules in place, they're going to do whatever they're going to do.
So and then people are just exploiting that weakness. Like anything in life, it just happens to be with college athletics. Oh, by the way, how much do you think Bo Jackson or Derrick Rose would have made if they came up right now?
You don't want to hear that. You know what? I saw some bullshit.
It's called a rhetorical question.
Well, but no, I saw that bullshit where what would Michael Jordan have made, and what would this guy have made, and what would that guy have made? Yeah. You can't. You know what? I don't want to hear that.
It's just silly talk.
But that's individual things. Derrick Rose would have taken the money. Bo Jackson could have gone pro right out of high school. He decided to go to college. He wanted to go to Auburn, and that was it. So I mean, it's individuals too. I mean, some people need it or want it more than others. I promise you, Derrick Rose would have. He needed it.
Yeah.
But Bo Jackson was.
Bo
Jackson needed it too, but he's a different cat.
Yeah. I just wonder how many guys with very limited family help, very limited friend help, not able, I mean, with all these fake agents and all these shady people out there. I mean, how many people get a terrible deal, get 20 or 25% taken off the thing, and get tricked into stuff, and because there's no regulation, I just feel bad.
Well, look at the case of Maurice Claret, the running back from Ohio State who won the national championship when he was a freshman. The NCAA said you can try it for the pros, which he did, and then they said, well, now that you tried it for the pros, you can't come back to Ohio State, and that just left him in limbo. And then he did some dumb stuff after that.
What, he didn't get drafted? He didn't get drafted.
He didn't get drafted. But the point is,
he was already.
But first they said you can go ahead and try out. He asked permission, and then he did. And then they said, oh, you did, but now you can't come back here because he didn't make the team.
But you see,
and then he was screwed.
That's choices. I mean, these are kids, right? I mean, Bo Jackson is the exception. I mean, they offered him like $20 million to sign. The Yankees offered him $20 million in 1985.
Oh, coming out of high school.
Out of high school, and he turned it down. He turned it down.
Yeah.
And that's documented. They offered him like $20 million.
Yeah,
but he knew that then I have to play for the Yankees. He didn't want to play for the Yankees. He wanted to play football.
The White Sox?
He wanted to play the Royals. I
don't want to play for a good team. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to play for a team with very low expectations. I don't really want to work that hard. I just want to kind of coast through. Yeah. No, and that's why I wanted Michelle to come on, because there's so much stuff that you hear and you don't know exactly what the deal is. And as much as I hate talking sports, I just feel like
you sure talk about it a lot, though.
Well, on the show, yeah. It's just that.
And otherwise,
you guys point that out every week.
Yeah, this is just so. It's just so. It's such a. It seems like such a dirty, awful little deal that's going on, and that there's no way this can get better. And like I said, if Ted Cruz is involved in it in any way, shape, or form, I just feel like it's like dropping a nuclear bomb on the school bully. Right? I mean, it's just going to be so over the top.
Well, that's why Michelle is good. She's the teacher of the teachers, trying to educate people just to avoid what you're exactly talking about.
It sounds like it's wild, wild west out there right now. Because literally, like I said, you got tens of thousands, if not millions of dollars floating around, people being cutthroat by nature. Look at every movie about when there's a hidden treasure somewhere. What happens in the movie? Person kills
Ted.
Yeah, kills. We'll all go together, and then the guy shoots the other guy because he wants the whole treasure for himself, right? He wants all the gold for himself, right?
Again, that's only happening.
None of it's rocket science.
That's not happening to.
But on a lighter scale, I'm not saying there's
That's like 1 out of a million people. That's happening to. Her book and everything is geared towards
the normal kid,
the normal
athlete
that just wants to make.
Just wants some food, wants some a stipend. He wants a food
instead
stipend,
of getting a job,
clothing
instead
stipend.
of getting a job and going to school,
the guy who's going to be an
and
accountant after he graduates college. He's not going to be the center fielder or the starting
Jacoby
point.
Brissett.
He could end up with a lifetime supply of White Castle.
That's not a bad deal.
It's a terrible deal.
He's got to be an offensive lineman.
That is literally diarrhea. That is diarrhea by 5. Yeah, if you're eating White Castle during the day, that's where explosive diarrhea actually happens. At night, the beer offsets it. Yeah, the alcohol will kind of
beer
drown
definitely
it out.
Offsets it.
Yeah, it definitely drowns it out.
I recommend a 6-pack with 4 sliders.
All right, need a couple more beers then before I go to White Castle tonight.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, man, this is great. I again, as much as I hate talking sports, I think people don't know what's going on, so it's kind of nice to kind of fill them in.
Wait. The beer question. Remember the listener that needed the tip?
Yes.
He wanted to know
the episode.
No, he didn't know we talked about, but we don't have episode numbers on them. But the beer episodes was the first one with what's his name?
Beer on the Wall guy.
Beer on the Wall.
Was on October 25th, 2022.
Holy shit! It's 2025.
I know. And then the other episode with Brian from IBW was November 24th, 2022.
So we haven't done any beer stuff in
I was on both of those.
Yeah,
that's when I get invited.
Both, yeah.
Beer and sports, Steve. Yeah, beer and sports. That's what's the most important thing. Wow. So we got to, we got to find some more. We got to find some more beer. Last thing we did was alcohol. That's when you weren't. That was when you were gone.
Yeah, I was in Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I'm trying to look at his name. What was his? Ryan Tracy from Beer on the Wall.
Ryan Tracy.
That was from 11/24/22, and then Brian Buckman was from 10/25/22.
Yeah, I follow them.
Is there still a Beer in the Wall? I saw it the other night.
Park Ridge.
Park Ridge, yeah.
Beer in the Wall, Park Ridge. Jack and I are actually going when the weather breaks. I don't want to go when it's super cold, but we got a $25 gift certificate from there. We won from something.
What
There
is
you
it?
go.
Is it outdoor? You won't go when it's cold out?
They do have a good outdoor area.
They
Kelly
do have
and I
nice
go
outdoor.
there.
Do they have,
Okay.
they have packaged
Yeah.
liquor to go, or you have to drink it in there? Everything's you have to
I
drink
think
it
the
in there.
deal is you want to drink it in there. And,
No, you could
and-
drink it in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a.
No,
Yeah,
you can't get it. You can't get it to go though. It's
Yes,
not like
you can.
Oh, you can.
Sure.
Okay.
Of course.
Sure, but
yeah.
you want to drink it with other people and talk about it. Like
Kelly
your
got
boy-
me 50 different IPAs on my 50th birthday from there.
Nice.
She went into Beer in the Wall, and I think they got to like 42, and he's like, "Yeah, we only have about 40." So she came home with like 42.
No.
She was 8 short.
So
'cause-
she failed. She doesn't love you.
She made you
Because
think
if she,
you're
because if
younger
you
than
loved
you
she,
were?
she loved
No.
it, she would have got you 50 beers.
Well, she literally
you
bought
42
every
beers.
IPA they had, so they
pretty cool.
failed.
Well, it wasn't good
They-
enough.
They failed.
Yeah,
Because
Ted,
50 is not 42.
She could have found like eight other ones somewhere else.
I never asked
Could
her
have
how
gone
long
to
she
Jewel,
was
could have gone
in
to
there.
Jewel Osco. Could have gone to the packaged liquor store.
No, they won't have anything different than them.
I don't know how long she was in there, but
Just
I
drink
know
it
she
slowly.
said
Just
the
drink it
sales-
slowly.
The sales rep is pretty giddy. When she's like, I need to buy 50 different IPAs for my husband. He's turning 50. He was like,
ooh, I
dude,
know
He's like,
IPAs.
oh, right, let's
How
a
long-
challenge.
How long did it take you to drink them? Week and a half.
No, I actually no, because I
2 weeks.
No, I think about a year.
Yeah.
About a year.
Do beers last a year?
Yeah, I
It's
didn't.
not spam.
It's not like Bud Light.
I mean, you know,
You got Oktoberfest.
Remember the
in your fridge.
remember the
That's
Born on Date?
4 or 5 months now.
Remember the Born on Date? I think I got some skunky beer. Remember the Bud Light commercials with the Born on Date?
What I did is
like those
I
commercials.
kept them in the basement corner, so they were cool, and then they never got warm, and then I would put like 6 in the fridge because I wanted to actually taste each one and then remember what it was. And if you start drinking them all together, you just forget,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Well, that was like Scotty Brazil, who was on one of the shows.
Oh yeah.
The one of the alcohol shows, but he would have in his basement. He had a March Madness party, but in his basement he had these built-in benches, and they all had things you could lift up, like the bench part lift up, and underneath there was just
Storage.
beer.
Beer.
But like
Beer
a
everywhere.
1,000 beer. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just cans and 6-packs and individual cans of beer.
Before you
Yeah.
put them in
All
the
over the
fridge,
place.
right?
Yeah. Same. Exactly what you just said.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy. And as we're there for,
It's
for-
way easier to do it that way because I don't have enough. I mean, I'm running out of. I have so much hot sauce in my fridge right now.
I know I have a lot, dude. When we
I
went
have
to
a whole
that,
shelf.
From Hot Sauce Guy.
From everywhere, really.
yeah, from the summer, I still have like 6 unopened bottles of hot sauce. It's
Can I get a couple from you?
no.
One of my favorites
okay.
went out of business.
You
so
can
he
spam.
stopped.
You can have spam. That's all.
All right.
That's all he'll give you.
Yeah, take home that jalapeno.
Give me
spam.
some extra hot sauce. I'll buy it from you. I could use some.
All right.
All right.
Ted, we're gonna do that. All right, let's put this thing to bed. We'll let Steve go first. Steve, last thoughts.
Last thoughts. Thanks for letting me be here tonight. It's been a while. I think the song's got to come back, Mark. That's my last thought.
Okay.
They were very good.
All right.
Poetry sucks.
Okay.
Move on.
All right. Not mine, just poetry.
Poetry in general.
Ted.
Yeah.
Poetry and I would say poetry in general does, but I thought your poems were really good.
Very good.
Teddy, we'll let you go next.
My last thought is I'm entering the podcast transfer portal, and I'm moving to a true crime podcast because I got the grass is greener on the other
How
side.
much?
So
How much are they paying you?
Well,
Through the nil.
$1, just still $1 more
Actually, he's paying them.
than this shit
could
show.
you imagine Ted? Could you imagine Ted on a true crime? Bob did it. Wait, no, Ted, we got it. Bob.
And
Bob did it.
Jack the Ripper is. I will tell you next week.
Yeah, Ted's paying them because Ted knows nil about what's going on.
You, Ted, that would be
that was
you would
good.
be the worst in that because once you know something, it's impossible for you not to scream it out immediately.
Dude, I just want to say it's like a bucket list thing. I just want to say I went to the transfer portal. How many people can say that? I went to the transfer portal. I just want to go to a portal. Portals are cool, right? You go to it's like a wormhole. You can go to a different
We can get you in a
universe.
portal,
I would
all
love
You
to,
can go to
Ted.
time-
I would love to get you in a time warp portal. Yeah, absolutely.
Portals are cool.
Time travel.
There's a bar for special needs adults called the Portal. We can take you there.
Dude, we show up in a bar called the Portal. I like that. It sounds so 3-dimensional.
Oh my God.
It sounds so dimensional.
Dude, that's
And
an
time
interesting
travel, we
concept.
change the year depending on the weekend. Like
Yeah.
it's 1962, it's 2010.
Where were you last night? I was in the Portal. I didn't know where I was.
Dude, that's the
You
cool
mean
name of a
when?
bar.
You mean when was I?
Dude, that's the cool name of a bar. The Portal. Where'd you go last night? I went to the Portal. All right.
And then
Sue me.
every day it's different.
Yep.
Every time you go there, it's a different. It's a different.
It's like the butterfly effect. If you drink this beer, this affects the future. If you drink that beer,
It's a great idea. And then
Again,
change
time
the
tra-
music.
That's why time
change-
travel's the worst. Yeah. Absolute worst. All right, Mark. Last thought.
That's my last thought. Send Ted to the portal.
Send Ted to all just here.
Portal.
We'll find an open door. It's nice and dark. We'll
he
tell
can
him,
transfer out of
We'll
it.
put some lights in the background, and we'll tell him it's a portal, and then just close the door.
Wait,
He wanted to go there.
Is the Phantom Zone from Superman? Is that a portal, or that's just like a prison, right? Wasn't like a portal. Remember the
portal
Phantom
was-
Zone in Superman?
I think
or in
Doctor
the
Who.
Phantom
Doctor
Zone?
Who was like more of a portal.
Okay.
When he got in that phone booth.
Remember the movie The Fly with Jeff Goldblum? He went from like was
was
that
a
a
time
portal?
machine.
He went
That
from
was
one thing to the other. He tried to teleport himself.
Oh,
that
it
was
was
like a portal.
teleportation, yeah.
Then he turned into a fly. So yeah,
It was
don't
like
don't
Tesla.
go into a portal.
You-
Don't go into a portal.
so 10 seconds ago, you were all pro portal. Now you're anti portal.
Well, only if it
Is
involves
he
a lot
saying
of
portal or porno?
no, only if it involves a lot of money, not if it involves molecular changing of your DNA to something.
You don't wanna
else.
be a fly?
You don't want to be. You
fly?
know, not that portal.
Right.
Just the money portal.
Ted, how many times have you told me you'd love to be a fly on the wall? Now you could actually be a fly on the wall. Oh my God! All right, so Michelle was great.
He'd end up in a gas station bathroom
That would be so. That'd be so.
in the summer.
Ted wouldn't be able to get out, but
Buzz
somebody
around.
would leave a can of beer there, and he would just fly into the can of beer.
He'd be flying shit.
And there wasn't beer in there.
So it was awesome to talk to Michelle. It was great. Next week, this is insanity to me, and I'm just going to share this. Mike Jack is going to be on next week. Okay, he actually holds multiple Guinness World Records, but the one you really need to focus on, and he eats a lot of things. Okay, is that this guy coming on next week is the fastest person ever, and this doesn't even seem like it's real, to eat 100 Carolina Reaper hot peppers.
He needs his
Just
own.
like
he needs
raw,
his own.
just right there.
He needs,
How hot
he
are
needs his
those?
own show.
They're
He
hot,
needs his own
dude.
show because I mean that seems like physically impossible. I mean that would kill like a normal person. I mean I'm not talking about like
I grow them, and so when I first started growing them, we gloves and everything. Took a piece, cut off a sliver that is it's not even measurable. It's so small. You put that in your mouth, and it hurts.
But
I
he's
can't
having
even-
the whole pepper.
everything.
pepper?
100 of them.
Whole pepper, just
I've seen it. I've seen it. and
fastest ever.
It's incredible.
how about just ever forget the fastest. I mean just to choke
But
down
some
100
people
peppers.
are immune to that. I know somebody who is.
That is true. I mean
I know.
he must have
personally
some,
know somebody who is.
He must have
could-
some chemical makeup
Yep.
that he breaks it down because there are actually people like for example there's people in the world who like don't feel pain like you can so obviously he has some type of genetic
He
makeup.
doesn't
where-
have a tongue or something like that.
Yeah, he has
No,
no
but
taste buds or something. Yeah,
Mike Jack.
so he's a freak.
He's
Yeah,
not
man
going to be able to
without
talk.
tongue.
He's
I'm
not
gonna
going
have
to
to, I'm
talk.
gonna ask him this
It's gonna be
because
about bad podcast.
I personally, my friend Erwin's brother, Joe, I call him El Diablo. He's the devil. He can take a Reaper pepper and rip it in half with his hands, and then smear it all over his face, his eyes, his lips, and then eat it and do it again and again and again.
What,
He-
okay,
and he-
that seems really weird. Why would you rub
Why
it on
put
your
on his
face
face,
first?
yeah.
because
I mean,
they,
does he do that with
bet.
hamburgers?
No, somebody bet. No, it was a bet. It was a bet, and he. I mean, it's on video. It's unbelievable.
So here's a real thing. So the vulture, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the vulture, I guess they have like a cast iron stomach, so because they eat roadkill, they eat carcasses, and I guess and putrid decomposing carcasses. But I guess their acid in their stomach is so strong to dissolve that. So I'm guessing this guy has to have something.
He's a vulture.
similar to a vulture. No, I'm serious. I'm serious because because if you just smelled roadkill, you'd gag and puke.
What
you
about
know.
the guy that ate an airplane? You ever see that guy?
No.
What?
You ever see that guy? He found out that he could digest like metal, like he can consume metal
And they just
then-
crap it out?
I don't know
So it's
how
like some
it comes
X,
out.
like
I
some
don't know how
X-Men
he
shit
does
going
it.
on, some X-Men stuff going
It's
on.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
All right, so, yeah.
So there's a guy who can eat an airplane. Okay,
Eat metal. So he literally
you gotta get
piece
him
by
on the show,
piece,
Matt.
Ate an airplane. I
You know-
think he's dead.
you know what-
now.
you know what I
Think of
would-
it
you know what I would-
like a toy airplane? Like what do you mean? Ate
No,
Of course
like
he's
a
dead.
fucking
Yeah.
real airplane.
You know what I wish? I wish there was a guy who could end this
Like-
podcast. That's what I wish.
It's in the Guinness
I don't,
Book
I don't,
of World
I don't see him
Records.
anywhere to be. He's nowhere to be found though.
It's in
Okay,
the- it's in
all
the
right, are
Guinness-
you ready?
He
At
read-
737? What do you mean he ate an
Allegedly.
No,
airplane?
listen to Matt. Listen.
On June 15th, 1950,
50s, yeah.
Michael Lotito
Yep.
consumed an entire four-seater
I know. Go
an
ahead. Read.
entire four-seater Cessna airplane.
You're believing what you see on the internet now.
No,
Come
no,
He
on.
is
I
from
read-
he is from Grenoble,
deep fake.
He's France.
France, yeah.
He was famous for
Yeah.
deliberately eating indigestible objects. So did he shit it out? Here's what I want.
I
Here's
don't
what
know,
I want.
but it was
The
like over
cushion
the,
eat
it was
it,
over the
shit it out, put it back
over the
together.
course of
And
a
then
long
flying
period
it.
of time that I cut everything up and they show him eating it. It was in like I remember reading this when I was a little kid. It was like in the Guinness Book of World Records. Oh no, it was that one Ripley's Believe It or Not. That's what it was.
remember that show. I love
yeah,
that
it was
show.
on that show and it was in their book too. It was Ripley's Believe It or Not. And it was like Believe It or Not, and it was
Yeah,
Believe it.
obviously he's just a genetic freak, like the person who's the
Who was
tallest
the
person
host
in
of
the
that?
world,
Remember the
the
host?
shortest.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Is it Jack Palance?
Holy
No,
shit.
Jack Palance. Yeah,
Jack
It was,
Palance,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
This guy ate. This guy ate.
It's just true, though. It's crazy.
This guy ate 18 bicycles, 15 supermarket carts, 7 TV sets, 6 chandeliers, 2 beds, a pair of skis.
How long does it take him to eat an airplane or 18 bikes? Like a month? Like he's not just not like one dinner sitting.
So much ketchup.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You just ate.
No, he hates ketchup.
Yeah.
He's allergic to
Mustard.
ketchup.
Yeah.
He's allergic to ketchup.
So he can eat an airplane, but
no
ketchup makes him puke.
Yeah.
Holy
It's disgusting,
shit.
Matt. You never put ketchup on an airplane.
All right, I'm
It's
going
a
to make
Chicago
you.
thing. You don't put ketchup on an
Oh,
airplane.
hey.
Unless it's a Southwest Airlines.
Okay,
flight.
so here's my promise to you is that we'll have obviously Mike Jack on next week, but I will find whoever is now eating inanimate objects, things that people don't eat. I will find them, and I guarantee you, I will have one of them on the show. That is my last thought.
I like that.
Excellent.
All right. Listen, man, keep listening. If you can, hit us up on social media. Wait, where is this thing? If you enjoyed the show, and I know you learned something today, please consider following the show, subscribing to your favorite podcast platform, or leaving a 5-star review. This helps the podcast more than I can say. It allows us to reach more and more people and would mean the world to us. And also, if you get a chance, visit our website, voteforted, F-O-R-E, like the golf.com, or thereal3idiots.com. And we will see everybody next week.